Well, hello there and happy Saturday. If you are joining me live in Zoom, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Joshua Harrell, the Chief Revenue Officer with World Via Travel Network and also Travel Marketeer. And you are on the Saturday session, the travel marketeering Saturday session. I haven't quite figured out, does Saturday session come first or travel marketeering? That seems like a branding challenge there. Anyway, those of you who are joining me live, thank you so much. And of course, you could be watching this on demand. So if you are watching this live and you want to go back, go to our YouTube channel, search World Via Travel Network, and you will find our YouTube channel and you can watch the past episodes of Travel Marketeering. You can also see some other content like our Elevate series with Laura De Vega. Lots and lots on our YouTube channel and lots more to come, right? But today, it's all about building your online presence. And it's something that we talk about a lot. I'm going to go over some of the basics. We're going to get a nice overview, and then we're going to go into some specifics that I think you will find pretty interesting because it's going to pertain to the more technical SEO, search engine optimization tactics like creating your meta description and your meta title. So I'll get into what that is a little bit later. Now, what makes a travel marketing Saturday session, I do like that better, travel marketing Saturday session, is it's live. So you guys who have gotten up this morning, some of you on the West Coast who got up really early, uh, you know, don't just sit there and watch me present. I don't present. We have a good old-fashioned, as the Brits say, chin wag. So let's start talking. You can definitely ask me questions. I always have travel marketing opinions. I will definitely give you those. So, ask questions. If there's something I talk about and you're like, please clarify, definitely say it. I guarantee you somebody else has that same question. Also, my friend Laura, who I just ran into on our Thrive in 25 tour, we finished that up in January. She said, I join you on a regular basis and I have loads of questions. I don't want to make it all about my agency. And I told her, go for it. Because you've got me, I will be your chief marketing officer for the duration of this session. So please ask away. Now, I do ask that we try to stay on topic because everybody who's joined today's session is wanting to talk about online presence. So if you want to start talking about brochures that you'd give at an expo. I'd love to talk about that. I definitely have an opinion, but let's save that for later. So before we tuck in, I want to dive into some of the comments and see if what's going on in the world. See you, hear from you. Also, if you're new here, sometimes I get a little preachy, okay? So, when you're at church and you hear something good, you shout out an amen. Well, here we shout out a TM for travel marketeering. So, if you feel like something's good, then go ahead and shout out a TM. I really enjoy it. And I have to say, after being on this tour, going across the United States, meeting the members of World Via Travel Network where they live. It's pretty cool to be greeted with some TMs from the audience. So I'm gonna say I really love that. All right, let's get into the chat here. I've got Althea. Good to see you. Love it. So glad. Happy TM from Ohio. Good to see you. Deborah, good morning to you. Happy morning. Kristen, good morning, everyone. Yes, chat away with everybody. Come on. Kristen, so good to see you. Oh, Amanda, she's been on before. Good morning and hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. So good to see you. Matthew, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Christine, I love it. So good to see you. Morning, sunshine. Morning to you. I love it. Catherine, good morning from Cleveland. Ohio. Yeah, love it. Let's see here. Robin said, "Hey Josh, I joined WorldVia because of how much you care to help." I'm glad to hear it, Robin. Well, welcome to our network. I love it. Thank you, Robin. Anne, good morning from Phoenix. Good to see you again, Anne. I just saw Anne on the road show. Diane, good morning from New York. Karen, good morning from Asheville, North Carolina. Gosh, we're getting people from everyone, from everywhere. We're getting people from everyone. Amber, good morning from Oklahoma. Amanda's given a TM. Robin's given a TM. Jeff is given a good morning and a TM from Dallas. Matthew, TM back at you. Diane, TM. Deborah, TM. Oh, well, we're getting the TM. And then Debbie's giving us a GM for a good morning. Cecilia, good morning. And Laura, there she is. TM back at you. Rebecca, man, we've got a lot of people in the audience today. Rebecca, good morning. And TM from Alabama. Teresa, good morning from Alabama. And Matthew said he is a newcomer. So welcome, Matthew. So glad you're here. It's a real warm welcome. And you know what? I will say that our travel marketeering community on these Saturdays, I love it. If you want more community, jump into our private Facebook group. Just search Travel Marketeer on Facebook, and you can join our Facebook group. And guys, really underutilized channel. If you have specific marketing questions, ask them there. Not only am I in our Facebook group, but so is Drea, our marketing specialist over at World Via Travel Network. She helps me and Laura put on our shows. She is the boss when it comes to marketing. So somebody from our team or some of our members will jump in and help you. So Matthew, welcome, welcome, welcome. TM back at you. Christine said, woo woo, great to see you too. TM. Oh, Rebecca, I love Miss Rebecca. Morning, everyone. This is a great way to start my weekend. So glad that you're starting your weekend with some work on your business. Don't most of us work in our business most of the time? So let's spend a Saturday morning and just start working on our business. Carla said, good morning from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Fantastic. Glad to see you. Christine said, welcome, Robin and TM. Deborah said, Minnesota here. Man, goodness. Paul said, good morning from Fort Worth. Missed you at Thrive in Dallas, Fort Worth. So, Paul, I am sorry that I didn't get to see you, but I get to see you here. So I'm so glad that you are here. Now, those of you who are new to Worldview Travel Network, new to travel marketeering, or just brand new to the whole thing. Worldview Travel Network host agency, hosting thousands of agents and agency owners across the United States. And one of the things that we really believe in is good marketing, good business operations, and really getting into good entrepreneur practices. I have been a serial entrepreneur. Many of our team members have been serial entrepreneurs. And the reason why I even highlight that is mo being an entrepreneur is a very unique thing. Hey, you are very unique, right? So being an entrepreneur, you've got to be the chief salesperson, the chief marketer, the chief operations, the chief finance person, chief. You are everything. So what I find that our team does the most is talk about how do you get all the things done that you need to get done in your business or for your business. So that is something that is very unique to an entrepreneur. It is if you are an employee for a company, there's SOPs, there are ways of doing things. You have to execute the things. But as an entrepreneur or the person running your book of business, you're the chief, you're the one in charge. So what I think we do the best is breaking down the things that you need to do across all aspects of your business. And the one that I get to talk about the most and the one that I love is branding and marketing. Now, branding is the strategy, marketing is the tactics. And I want to make sure that we differentiate those because throughout all of our travel marketing conversations, we're talking about branding, but not just logos, not just fonts, not just colors. We're talking about the strategy of your brand and all the elements, the components that make up your brand. So we are always talking about that. And then marketing tactics are those very specific things. Think of branding as the macro level and the marketing as the micro level. So those are you send emails to get a response. Those the lead generation, but the brand is your company and your identity. So now that that's been squared away, we're going to dive in. And let's see, I got one comment from Robin. I'm going to just touch before we get into building your online presence. Robin said, very overwhelmed getting started with so many resources. Um, Absolutely understand. And I bet you so many people who are in the audience this morning or even watching on demand have been there or are there right now. Just to let you know, Robin, it does get better. The thing is the world is your oyster, and you can make your business, your brand, whatever you want it to be. So you have a lot of resources. You have a lot of ways to get started. But what is the best way to eat an elephant? Although I don't want to do it, one slice at a time. So take it easy. Take it easy. Oh, and okay, you guys are going to get me in the chat. Teresa just said, literally just registered last night with WorldVia. TM. Well, Teresa, welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday session. Welcome to the network. You are a part of a very big family, and we're so glad to have you here. And Amber said the same. Wow, you guys are making, oh man. We've got Robin saying, welcome, Teresa. Okay. Everybody, welcome. We're so happy. Obviously, we're super, super excited. Let's see here. Okay, we got to dive in. We got to dive in. Okay, so welcome to WorldVia. Welcome to Travel Marketeering Sessions. And if you don't know me, I am Joshua Harrell, your travel marketeering guide. I am the Chief Revenue Officer at WorldVia Travel Network. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a all-encompassing title of the person who's responsible for, it's going to sound familiar to you, marketing, sales, and service delivery. So that's what I'm responsible for across our company. And that's also how I can help you. So, all right, we're gonna dive in. I could sit here and talk to you guys forever. All right, let's start sharing my screen here. Okay, so we're talking about building your online presence, a guide for travel agencies. And again, oops, I just jumped right around here. Let's see. Um, all right, that's who I am. They're who I am. All right, so let's talk about the importance of a strong online presence. Now, for those of you who already have your brand in place, you've already got your website in place, bear with, because I'm giving a nice overview of the importance of a strong online presence, defining your website's purpose, choosing the right platform for building your website, creating user-friendly and mobile responsive design, SEO, and website optimization. So I'm going to give an overview of that. Some of you have heard it before. Rebecca, I know you've heard it before. Laura, I know you've heard it before. Christine, I know you've heard it before. So bear with because I am going to give this overview. And as I'm prone to do, I meander. So I'm going to give you some bits and nuggets as we go along. And then what I'd like to wrap up with or spend a lot of the demonstration time on is going into a website and working on the meta title and meta description. And I'll explain what those are, but I really want to show you what I would do And that is a great time if you are building your website or you already have your website in place to open up another screen and not follow along, but follow along with me, but also look at your website or look at the back end of your website and maybe get inspired to do some things. Okay. So I promise we're going to get to that. But those of you who have websites and they're performing, the people who have not started their website building or they're trying to tweak their website, they love the practical examples. So if there's a challenge you're having, then let's talk about it. Okay? All right, so the importance of a strong online presence. Oops, my thing here. Visibility and credibility. Sorry, my things are I'm using a new presentation thing. Yeah, presentation tool. It's bouncing around on me. So visibility and credibility. Um, a website is your digital storefront. So even if you're not in e-commerce, it is that storefront. It is your homestead on the web. So I always say if you're just getting started and you haven't fully fleshed out what your brand is, go, if you know the brand name, go and get that domain, set up a one-page website that just says, here's the name of my business and here's how to contact me. What you're doing is you're laying claim to land on the internet. And what's going to happen is you've laid claim, then Google, Bing, all the AI tools, all the things are going to start crawling your site. The sooner that gets up and live, the better for you. So don't wait for perfection, just get something up because then as you evolve and as you grow your brand and start to build out those web pages, you're building it on an established foundation. You've already laid claim to that land. So your website is all about visibility and credibility. Lay claim to it and then start adding over time. Uh, I really, I really look at your website, and I say this all the time, as your number one salesperson. So make sure that it's showcasing your expertise. In it it signals that you are travel. You want to be known for travel, so that is the job of your website, making sure that you're known for travel and known for what you do within travel. And that is going to help attract potential customers. I always call them future customers, right? So there's tons of future customers. Another side benefit, and this is the visibility and credibility part, um, somebody might find your agency or find you as an advisor through an online directory. Like on worldvia.com, we have our advisor showcase, or on travelleaders.com, we have agent profiler. So those are outside of your website, but ways for you to present yourself and to attract potential customers, right? So people will find you through other means, not just your website. Having a strong online presence, primarily through your website, that's your home on the web. They might find you somewhere else, but when they do, maybe, and I'm sure we've all done it for different things, not just in travel, but we search on the web to see, does this person exist anywhere else? Does this company exist anywhere else? So having a website, having LinkedIn, having other social media channels and being other directories, it all lends to your credibility and people do look. So they might come to you through other channels, but your online presence supports you through making it easy for people to say, hey, this person is a real person, right? So you want that credibility. The other thing, and many of you who have been in business for a while know this to be true, that not everybody surfing the web and landing on your website is a future customer or a past customer. Some are suppliers. So you might have reached out to a BDM. Say you reach out to your local sandals BDM, and this is a new relationship for you. You're just building the relationship. I guarantee you they're going to go look at your website to see who you are as an advisor and what your agency is all about. So that is a key component to your online presence. How it's not only the visibility and being able to attract future customers, but it's also being able to establish your credibility as an advisor. So it will serve you in myriad ways. Okay. So I definitely want you to think about it that way, that it all feeds into your brand. And if you're just getting started, I just said, lay claim, put that pet page up with your contact information, even if it doesn't have a lot of information about you and what you are going to be in your business. It does signal to those suppliers that maybe you're just reaching out to establish your business and establish the relationship. It does let them know that you're here. You're in that stage of your business, and that is a-okay. Better to have that than nothing at all. Okay? I'm serious. I've heard it many, many times. Now I see we had some questions. Hold on a second. Um, so Maria, you're asking about LinkedIn. I might come back to that. If not, we might have to do that on a follow-up session because I want to make sure that we get through some of the website focused items, okay? But Maria, really good question about any tips for using LinkedIn effectively and not salesy, because I do have some thoughts. And then Maria, oh, I love this question. I'm going to come back to this one too. Maria, what are your thoughts on having pop-ups on your site? I'm going to get to that because I am. I promise I am. Okay. So I'm going to move on again, talking about the importance. Um, Connection and engagement. Kind of obvious. It allows you to connect with clients, share valuable travel insights, build relationships through blog posts, articles, and social media recognition. Okay. Kind of obvious, right? We know this, but I will tell you, after working, we're going on 8 years now in the travel business from yours truly, and working with thousands of advisors and agency owners. We, I have worked with so many that we really have to get in the habit of thinking about the online presence beyond the website, beyond social media. It's all interconnected, right? So many times I'm working with an advisor and they're wanting to build their website. They're wanting to build their website, and I love that. But I also want to know that they're building social media. It's got to be a multi-arm approach to really build that online presence. But it's not, doesn't everything doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be um, it doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be posts every hour. It doesn't have to be all that. It just you have to lay claim and start to establish your roots and all the bits of content. You create content for your website, you create content for social media, you cross you repurpose content that you've used in different places. It all should serve you in your online presence. Okay? Um, all right. Let's see if I can move this. Okay. So let's get started with defining your website's purpose. All right. Again, your website's your number one salesperson. It is the biggest lift that you have in building your online presence. And after you do that, everything else is a dream. Even if you, like I said, don't build out everything on your website, it isn't 100% perfect. Defining what your website is, who you are going to be, what you're going to signal to the world, how you're going to show up to the world. That right there, once you just make that decision, then social media becomes easy. Then email marketing becomes easy. Then third-party directories become easy to create. But the real work comes in just making a decision about who you're going to be and how you're going to show up. So let's talk about this. So defining your website purpose, number one, your target audience. Who are you talking to? Identify your ideal clients. And if you are curious about how to workshop coming up with your ideal clients, check our YouTube channel because I've done many talks on buyer personas, customer avatars. I did one specifically on that. I'd love for you to go back and check that out. It's worth an hour to just sit down and get some ideas flowing. But identify who you're speaking to. Now, I said you have suppliers visiting your website. That's true. Don't cater your website to suppliers. Just know that they're coming. Really make sure that you are crystal clear on who you're wanting to talk to, because then that makes making decisions about your site so much easier. Laura, I'm going to jump on you real quick because while I was in New Jersey for the road show, you had been sharing with us in the Saturday sessions that you are building signature brands, sub brands essentially, to go under your parent brand to cover the niches that you wanted to develop within your business. And what I loved about Laura showed me her work. Massive progress there. So impressed with what Laura was doing. But I want to share with you what I saw when I've already seen her website. In fact, you can even go see when Laura and I talked because she was on Travel Marketeering on one Saturday. Um, so I'd seen her parent website or the main website, and I knew she was working on the signature brand. So she showed me what she's developed so far, and I loved it because she knew exactly who she was trying to target for that signature brand. And Robin is asking Laura, if you're in the chat, if you can put your URL so everybody could go visit it. I don't think I'm not sure if you've got it published yet, the signature brand, but everyone I'm sure would love to see your website. So if you can drop that in the chat, that would be awesome. Robin, thanks for asking. Um, but my point is that her signature brand is a niche. She's got a brand already that is her parent brand. But when she's working on the signature brand, she knew I need it to look like this. It needed to speak to these customers. And that's what she did. So she used the structure of having a sub brand under her parent brand to position or to position herself to that group. Um, so she knows who she's trying to speak to, and she also knows from a brand perspective, she's been in business for a while now. She knows that she attracts people from her parent brand, and she speaks to them in a certain way. But the sub brand fits very nicely tucked underneath the parent brand. So Robin, I'm not sure if she's got the if she's got it set up yet, the sub brand, but I'm telling you, she's doing some good work there. So there you go. Laura's dropped it in the chat, and she said the signature brand is up as of today. Yay. Okay. I wonder, were you inspired that you were going to be on the Saturday session? I don't know. Laura's website is castawaydestinations.com. And then you can see the signature brand by clicking the European collection. So thank you, Laura, and congratulations on getting your signature brand up. And guys, I loved when I met with Laura. I knew she was building out these sub brands, or a sub brand at least at that moment. And she told me, "Oh, it's a signature brand," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, my branding senses were just tingling. So I love it." All right. So going back to the purpose. So defining your purpose, know who you're wanting to talk to, know who your ideal customer is, and do not be fooled into thinking you need to be everything to everybody. Because if you're trying to be everything to everybody, you're nothing to nobody. Okay? So get really clear on who you're talking to and make sure that you are thinking about them when you're creating content and adding to your website. The next thing is get clear on the services you offer. Clearly outline your services, including destination expertise, travel planning, and any unique offerings. So let me tell you what this is to me. Um, Obviously, you might love let's see, you might love Alaska. Okay. Alaska, if you've watched these Saturday sessions, I always go to Alaska and I have never been to Alaska, but for some reason, Alaska is my go-to. So, you're all about Alaska. So that's pretty obvious, right? Like that's pretty easy to figure out what you're going to talk about on your site. You're going to talk about the destination of Alaska. You're going to probably talk about cruise tour. Um, you're it's fairly easy for you to connect the dots there. Okay. But that's the easy stuff. So definitely have that. You want it to be very clear. If you're all about Alaska, if someone goes to your website, the first thing they should see is something that is so quintessentially Alaska. And if it's not, we got a problem. But all right, I'm not going to be judgy there. Um, Beyond Alaska, how do you do Alaska as an advisor or an agency? How do you do Alaska? The way if I were selling Alaska, or if Christine, who's one of our travel marketeers on the line right now, if she's probably been to Alaska. I don't doubt that she's been to Alaska. But if I were to do Alaska and Christine were to do Alaska, and say we had the same experience with Alaska, I know Christine well enough to know that the way she would talk about Alaska would be with a heart full of curiosity, um, passion, uh, uh, kind of that wanderlust. Because whenever I talk to Christine, I get that about whatever destination she talks about. That is the core of Christine. Now, that would be, I know that that's how she would talk about her services and the way she helps her clients. For me, I am a collector of experiences. And sometimes I don't actually enjoy them when I'm in the experience. I mean, that might be too much information, but I'm just saying, I know I need to, I know I need to experience the thing, but sometimes I'm confused. I don't know. It's kind of a quirky thing with me. So I would say the way that I would talk about Alaska and the services that I would want to provide would be I get confused easily when I travel. So I would talk about how thoroughly I not only plan the details, but I make sure that you have the space to process things, right? And why it's important. Because half the time I don't research where I go. I just go and see what happens. So I need, oddly for me, I need structure, but also I need to be told what I should enjoy. The funny thing as I'm saying this, because I'm just riffing right now, but because I've spent so much time with Christine, I know that she has had to tell me what I need to do when I go to places. So I feel like this might be a bad comparison. But what I'm really getting to is she could sell Holland America going to Alaska. I could sell Holland America going to Alaska. Um, we would put together trips for families or individuals. Our approach would be different. It still could be the same cruise, but the way that we present it to our clients would be different. And guess what? That is going to be what somebody is attracted to. So you put Christine and Joshua's travel agency together or beside each other, and the way we both unpack what we do is going to either resonate or not resonate with a user. And that is a-okay. That is what makes us unique. And that's how we find our tribe. That's how we find the people who want to buy from us. So when you are outlining your services, yes, get into the technical aspects of you charge a planning fee, you do a specific maybe you serve specific clients. Um, get into those details, but also unpack how you the type of experience that you're offering, because nobody is buying your menu of services. They're buying the experience that they believe you will craft for them. I hope that makes sense. So whatever you do on your website, if you have your website up and running right now, go and see whether you have a services page or what we do page, or you just have a page, a section on your homepage that talks about the services you provide. Make sure that you are clearly articulating what you do and how that is going to benefit the people who you serve. Okay? All right, services offer, and then call to action. So your website's purpose is to be that number one salesperson, uh, help you get discovered, help people find you, lend credibility to you. But at the end of the day, it has to encourage people to take specific actions, such as booking consultations, downloading resources, and or contacting you directly. If you don't have all of those things, get it. And I am talking about download those resources because I guarantee you, you have long emails that you send out to clients who have a specific question, or maybe you do it after so many books and you've got your must know about Alaska. Make sure you turn that into a PDF that you can download when somebody can download when they join your mailing list. Make it a little ad on your site. Click here to join my mailing list and download um, my ebook on the must knows about going to Alaska, something like that, right? So make sure you have all of those things, and maybe you have multiple iterations of all those things. You have different downloadables across your website. Beautiful thing. I love it. If you don't have a way for them to book a consultation, get one now. Calendly, which is calend and then lee.com. You can have one free booking type or calendar event type, and you can set that up for consultations, and then people can just click on that button on your website and schedule, or even in some website platforms, they have a connection to another calendar tool. There are options, but if you're not taking advantage of that option, you need to now. My only advice on that is by default, most calendar schedulers are set to ask you for the name, email address, maybe a mobile, right? If you are making that a call to action for people to book appointments with you on your website, you need to make sure you're collecting a little bit more information. Okay. You don't want to make it where they're having to give you the life story. You don't want that. But if it's a public link like that, you want to know a little bit about them. So, what is their home airport? That could be pretty helpful. You don't have to get into their address, but you can find out, are they flying out of Atlanta? Okay, that's helpful information, helps me kind of get my bearings. And then what kind of vacation are they looking for? And what time of year are they looking for? Is somebody looking for a trip next month? You might not be down for that. So it doesn't mean that you don't have the call with them, but you know that you're going to have to talk about that when you speak to them. Or maybe you do email them and just say, hey, let you know I can't get you to Australia next month. When I put together a trip, it's pretty comprehensive, so it would take me more time. Now, that person would say, no, I don't want to talk to you. How dare you not take my business? Or they might say, okay, well, my wife and I were just talking away and we thought, hey, it'd be nice. We've got flexibility. At the end of the day, it's our only time going to Australia, probably in our lifetimes. We could tell from your website that you know what you are talking about when it comes to Australia. So let's talk. Let's talk. So you want to collect some information. It also helps because people will inevitably use these contact forms as ways to sell you something. So you got to know that that's going to happen. You're going to get people who sign up as Tina Turner. Okay. It's just par for the course because you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. So yes, so That's my advice. I make sure that your website has a call to action, and I will tell you that I have looked at so many websites, and as beautiful as they can be, there might be one call to action, and that might be the contact me button or contact us button. Love that button. You should definitely have it. But that button and maybe a similar button that says, "Hey, let's talk." Spread those throughout the website. Now, I think I just saw. I know that you guys are chatting away here. Um, so I'm gonna I need to come back and get to some of the questions, but I did see that Amanda just asked a question about CTAs. So on the call to action, is it okay to ask if they know their budget, or that should be later when you respond back? I am so glad you asked that question, because it really depends on your business, okay? And the types of trips that you sell and what you're really signaling on your website. Um, because if you are, um, let's say you're doing Disney destinations, right? You all know that to stay on property, that is a certain budget. And you need to know, yes, somebody might be very attracted to your visuals and they like your personality, and they could get really all spun up. But if they're not aware of what what it generally costs to package the whole vacation up. And believe me, when you stay on property, hello, that is a very different experience. I am 100% down for that. But you'd want to ask, how many people, how big is your family? And what are you looking to spend? What are you comfortable with spending on this magical vacation? Okay. Now I would workshop that a little bit. But do you get where I'm going here? I'm trying to ask the money question. But if you said, "What's your budget?" to anybody, I mean, even think about when you've had somebody come into your house to say, um, to give you a price for new floors, new carpet, right? The moment someone says, "What's your budget? What do you do?" You're like, I don't know. I would like to get an idea of how much this costs, right? So the asking budget question, I would just do it in a careful way, or a cautious way. If you guys hear those sirens, I am in the city of Atlanta, and the police are going crazy. Sorry about that. It's just really loud when it's right on the street like this. All right, so asking the budget question is good, but even when I just gave you an example, Amanda, I caught myself saying, how large is the family, and how much are you comfortable with spending? I started adding more questions, and the thing I don't want to do is make it so. I don't want someone to click on schedule a consultation with me and then have to put their phone down or put their iPad down and say, "Oh, you know what? I need to get my head right before I schedule this time." That's the thing that you always want to evaluate. How much information is too much information that makes it difficult for me to do when I'm sitting at a T-ball game? Okay. The great thing about all of these scheduling tools and having a website that's built on a platform that automatically makes your website mobile friendly is we can get people to convert, become known to us on our website super fast now. They can be in the car waiting for somebody to finish getting their hair done, right? Or they could be getting their hair done and they can say, "Oh, you know what? I really need to take some action on getting my vacation booked. So I'm gonna just pop over here. Oh, they've got a scheduling app. Bop, 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 my name, email address, what my airport is, and where I'm looking to go and what time of year, right? Okay, boom, it's gone. Um, that is not something I have to sit and think about. I did work with an agency once who had essentially a customer intake form as their first inquiry, and that was a problem. So I could tell that they weren't getting conversions on their site, but they were getting good traffic. We changed their form and streamlined it a little bit, and overnight, they started to double, triple the number of inquiries coming in. And it really was, they made it more of a form that someone had to fill out, and that made it something that took time. So somebody, procrastinated. They put it on their to-do list and never got around to it. So think about what you're asking and make sure you've got just a couple of questions like it could be that budget question reworded in a different way, or it could be where do they want to go and when, because the answers to those questions are going to give you some indication, is this your type of client? And you won't really know until you do it. So anyway, thank you for asking the question, Amanda, because I am super glad that you did. All right, calls to action. So choosing the right platform for building your website. So there are tons of website platforms out there. And ones that I'm sure you've heard about. WordPress is one that many web designers work in. It's super friendly, great with SEO. It's been around for a long time, highly customizable. For the most part, it requires a web designer. And a web designer, just to give you an idea, you're looking at for an okay one, you're looking for a smaller website, you're looking at about $1,000 and much more if you're trying to do anything highly designed or highly complex. But that would be my, if you were trying to figure out what your budget is, that would be where your budget would be. The great thing about WordPress is it's a content management platform. So when it is designed, you've got the ability to have web pages that you can easily customize, and you've got a blog component in there. So it's very easy for you to add pages to your website and to have a powerful blog. Super great tool. It is the pretty much the backbone of a lot of web designers, their business. And let's see, Matthew said here, WordPress is great for blogging specifically. Yes, totally. I've used it for many, many years in many different applications. WordPress is really nice. The only thing that you would need to be cautious about, and this is, it depends on who you're working with as a web designer, it depends on who you're working with as your web designer. But the thing that I don't like about how many people design WordPress sites is they use plugins that are designed by other companies that are sold on the marketplace for WordPress, or are easy code items to add to your website. And what has happened to many, many websites I've worked on well beyond my career in travel has been, if that app or that plugin does not get updated, or is neglected in any kind of way from whatever that company is that put it together, that's when things start to break on your website, and that is not fun and not fun at all. So again, good platform. It's been around for a long time. It's going to be most of your web designer's choice, because there's so many things that they can do, from custom coding and just injecting different things to make that work. Squarespace, very user friendly, beautiful templates right out of the box, and it's ideal for those who don't have experience building websites. It's something you can't break. And what I love about Squarespace is the platform is designed in a way that as technology changes, you could have your website for 10 years with Squarespace, and it gets updated, and you don't have to worry about it. And then the mobile responsive design, for tablets or for phones, it already works. Okay. So love Squarespace. And for the longest time, that's where I would point everybody. And Laura said, I use and mostly love Squarespace. So she loves it mostly, or she mostly loves it. There are some things that you have to get used to. And that's definitely okay. You have to get used to what the guardrails are on what you can do. But once you know those, then it's very easy for you to. And I think Laura, I think you and I talked about this. When you look at a website, whether you're on Squarespace or you're on another platform, once you've designed or seen a design that you love, platforms like Squarespace are very easy for you to recreate something like that. So I love that. I think it really does power people up. Let's see. And then Wix. Wix is a very common one. Kind of reminds me, it's almost like a Squarespace and WordPress combine. Now, back in the day, I wasn't really a fan of Wix. It it didn't force all of the updates to whatever the Internet of Things is right now. So if you had built a website a long time ago, not necessarily up to date with the mobile friendly and all of that, they've gotten better. They've definitely gotten better, and it's got a great drag and drop editor, which Squarespace also has. Um, and also has where Squarespace has their own tools in order for you to expand what your website can do. There is a marketplace, but it's still very limited. Wix, more like WordPress with tons of different plugins that you can get. Uh, but the same thing it holds true for what I was saying about WordPress with the different plugins. These are owned and operated by other companies, and if they're not up to date or they don't, they're not keeping current with things, I have seen some Wix sites have some upsets. And let's see here. Teresa said, "What is a plugin?" Good question. So think of plugin as an app. I was talking about the calendar, having Calendly or tools like that as plugins that you can add to your website. They're already built into the platform. Um, they're different pieces of functionality. So one could be like a beautiful event calendar that sometimes they're free for you to add to the website, or there's a free version that you can add to your website, or sometimes there's a cost associated with it. But it's that add-on component to the website. And the plugin piece is you have to plug it into your site to make it work. So Teresa, I'm really glad that you asked that question. See, that's why we have it live like this, so we can talk about things. Now, I am a big fan of, I will tell you, Sites by WorldVia. I didn't, I obviously did want to plug our own website platform, but this is the place to do it, and I do firmly believe in this tool. I've been using it for several years, and the things that I love about Squarespace, it does. But even the things that I love about WordPress, the ways to optimize the site and the overall uh, 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 efficiency of how the website operates, I love it. So Sites gives you multiple pages, actually unlimited pages, gives you the optimization tools that all those other platforms, so WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, I was just talking about, all of that in one with Sites. And if you're a member of Worldview Travel Network, it's free for you to just go in and build a website. You can play with it, and you can have your sandbox version of your site forever. You only have to pay when you publish it. So I love that. I love somebody was asking about pop-ups earlier. So I know. Yeah, I talk about pop-ups and you're like, "No, nobody wants a pop-up. They're so annoying." Can I just tell you that pop-ups they're so visual. They stand out. They interrupt your experience. As long as you're not tacky with it. I mean, if you were back on the web in the late 90s, there were pop-ups everywhere. It would drive you crazy. Now, that's not the practice. Now it's like join my email list, download my packing guide. Or wait, there's a special group sailing that I'm doing to Antarctica. Come join, right? So with sites you have pop-ups, you have the ability to build pop-ups super easy, just drag and drop, add on, it's just very, very easy for you to create pop-ups. But I will tell you, every time I've put a pop-up on a website, whether it's to download a book or join an email list, immediately you see engagement. You see people converting over. So if you do not have a pop-up on your website, at least have one. I tell you, you will notice a difference. Your email list will grow, your inquiries will grow. Do it, do it. So you have pop-ups. That's just one of the features within sites. And we even our team built travel agency templates. So they're easy for you to grab. So when you go into Squarespace, you go into Wix, they might have one, they might have two. We have a bunch for you to use, whether it's just for inspiration or you're wanting to get started and go live with it. So super easy for you to go live with a website and then customize it more as you go on. And then another thing we have for our members of our network is we have dynamic promotions. So our partner relations team keeps it up to date with the consumer facing content around promotions. So if you want that live on your website, and who wouldn't? That's easy, fresh content for you to add to have automatically push out on your website. Then dynamic promotions is there. Now I'm going to pop into sites because I want to. That's what I'm going to use to show you when we do the work on the meta title and meta description. But I couldn't if I was going to talk about all the other platforms and many of the platforms you guys were talking about that you use. I needed to make sure that I talked about our sites. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Catherine said, should you put a pop-up on the home page for email sign up? Yes, Catherine, you should definitely. And that's probably where I would start. I would start with a pop-up about joining your email list. And even though I'm shorthanding it and saying sign up for my email list, if anybody has tuned in the past, I hate when someone says, subscribe to my newsletter or join my email list. You got to come up with something more fun than that, like sign up to receive email goodness from me. Something like that. Have fun with it and be creative because nobody wants to join a list. Oh, nobody wants to join a list. So you got to make it a little fun. Yeah, so definitely sign up for email your email list, have that pop up. And I would just suggest that you have a little bit of a delay on when that pop-up comes up, and different pop-ups tools within website platforms work in different ways, but you can normally delay by 20 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. There's a time delay, or I love with exit intention. So the site responds to if you start to move your mouse, like you're going to go up to the top of your search of Chrome or whatever platform you're on, it sees that you're looking like you're going to go somewhere, and then a pop-up comes up. I love that. If the pop-up comes up really fast when you hit a website, as I'm sure you've experienced, um, if I don't have enough time to get what the website is about, then chances are I won't engage with the pop-up. I'll just move away. And I know you've experienced it too. You go to maybe an ad that you saw or you were searching for something you wanted to buy, and then they immediately pop up with one of those games or something like that to hopefully get you to give your email address. But I immediately think this is a spammy website. That's how my mind is trained. So if I had gotten to get an idea of what the website was about and then that popped up, I might be more likely to participate in it. So just think about that for your pop-ups. And then Teresa said, when you say publish your website, what does that mean? Very good question. You got some good questions, Teresa. I appreciate that. So, publishing your website is when you make your website live for people to visit so it can be discovered on the web. So, in all platforms that you work in, you can stage your website, you can access it, you can look at it in previews, but it isn't something that Google could find, and it isn't a website address that somebody could just come to. You couldn't just send them to this web address. It is definitely something that is hidden. So it's not published. It's not live yet. Like I said, any platform that you work on, you have a point where you're going to publish it. If you're not published, it is unpublished, right? You can do that for the whole website. And then say you're working on a page, a promotional page, or you're adding an about page for your company. You have time to build those pages before you publish them. So you can still see it in Chrome. You can because you're working on it, but no one else can find it. I hope that answers your question, Teresa. Let's see. And Robin was jumping in. Thank you guys. Let's see. Christy said, if I use World via sites, then do I have to still purchase a domain elsewhere? Christy, you do. So website domains are housed with domain you know what I'm trying to say. Like GoDaddy, there's different. GoDaddy is my favorite one to use. It's just the easiest one to use. The easiest one to connect up website platforms to. So yeah, you still need to buy your domain. And once you do, then you can plug up your website. And you want to do that anywhere, whether you use World via Sites or you're using something else. Um, you want to have your domain with that company because then if you ever move platforms, you're syncing up to that domain. Your email, if you want to host your email, you want that branded email, uh, you would connect up whatever email platform you're using to the registrar. Okay, yeah, you still need to do that, but you can build your website on whatever platform you're building it on. You don't need to have that domain until you're ready to publish. I hope that answers your question. And Robin is in here answering all the questions. I love that. Let's see. Okay. I wanted to get out of the presentation mode, but we're talking about some good stuff here. All right, so let's talk about mobile responsive design and user experience on your site. So you want to, for as far as the user experience goes, you want a beautiful website. When we say beautiful website, it needs to look professional. It can't be junky. It's pleasing. It creates that positive impression and encourages engagement. So that's the visual appeal part of it. A beautiful design, what does that mean? You could specialize in river cruise. You could specialize in camping, in national parks. There's so many different things that you could focus on. What is beautiful? Well, really, we're going with clean. Um, it conveys your brand. It doesn't look clunky. I'm sure you've been on websites that look out of date, sorry. Um, that's when we talk about user experience and that visual appeal, we want it to be easy to digest. We don't want it to be o overcrowded. We also there's a very important piece to visual appeal, and that is just accessibility. There's the font size that you use on your site. Make sure it's not 12 point, which would be really small. Don't make it easy for someone to read comfortably. So right now I have a gigantic screen over here that I'm looking at. Uh, everything I can see everything, but sometimes I might be on a smaller display. If the font size is not big enough, then maybe I have to lean in. Don't make me lean in. Don't make anybody lean in. And another thing that you'll even get dinged for from Google is if you have buttons on your website and they're really skinny. Like you might have made them skinny because you wanted to fit in certain things and you wanted to make sure that, without having to scroll too much, you got in all this content. But those skinny buttons, those little skinny buttons, when you are on a phone, some people have big fingers, and then you've just made it so tiny, I gotta click on it. Or you've put a hyperlink behind text on your website, and you've made it so the font is so small, and maybe you only highlighted a word and you made that clickable to take you somewhere else. And then I gotta put my big fingers and try to get it on my phone and hit that thing, that little link. So think about it. So make your website good for people with big fingers on a phone. And I guarantee you, I cut it. This is a website I did maybe about 12 years ago. And it was when, actually, no, it wasn't 12, maybe about 9 years ago. It was when Google really started saying, make sure you design your website to look good on mobile, because that's where people are engaging with websites on their first discovery of the site. Um, so I got a message that said you made your buttons too skinny. It's not going to work for people with big hands. And I was like, I hadn't seen that before. So it's just something to think about. Something to think about, making sure that visually it looks great and it's accessible. It's easy for people to read and also to interact with the site. Um, so looking for visual appeal, whether it looks good on the desktop or it looks good on tablets and phones. Now, because I'm sharing my Chrome screen, I can't show you, but if you open a Chrome window right now, or any browser, and you go to a website, you can obviously drag the window, make the window bigger on Chrome. You can also make it super skinny. You can kind of get it skinny like a phone screen, right? A responsive website, as you stretch it out, becomes the desktop version. As you start to bring it in, it becomes the tablet version. And then as you bring it in further, it becomes the phone version. That is a great way to test however you've designed your website to see if it works on mobile, tablet, and desktop. Because most of the time we're designing on a computer, you're looking at desktop, it looks so beautiful, and then all of a sudden you randomly at a T-ball game go to your website to see how does it look on my phone, and you're like, oh, I can't even see the things that look so good on desktop. So you just constantly want to check, and then it's pretty easy to tweak when you're on a platform like Sites. So please do that, and think about the visual appeal and intuitive navigation. Make it easy for users to find information. Oftentimes, I've seen where some really important information, basic information like who am I? Who is my business? Will be tucked away on a page, on behind a menu that you wouldn't even think it would be there. And if you have been in travel for a while and been on some suppliers travel agent sites, I'm sure you have figured that out, that there's some things that you're like, I had no idea I would find the rules on group inventory on this particular spot. So I mean, that's a thing for all companies and their websites. But think about it for your website. If somebody knows nothing about you, what are the things that they want to know about? And are those your top navigation, the little menu items on the top of your website? If they're not, what's up there? Should you switch something out? Because some of the deeper dive stuff, like if you sell Alaska and other destinations, right? Maybe you have a destinations tab, then you have Alaska, then you have all your details on how you do Alaska and what you want your clients to know about Alaska. But you wouldn't make Alaska you wouldn't put it in your top navigation if you sell other destinations. And it's interesting, I have seen many websites where somebody made that decision because there was a reason for it, but I think they were too in their head. They weren't thinking about somebody who knows nothing about them. They were thinking of what they wanted their website to serve up to somebody. Always think about the user, make it very intuitive and easy to navigate. And then the mobile optimization part is not hard if you're using a platform like Sites where that is already done for you. We could keep up, we do it, Wix does it, Squarespace does it. Those platforms, they do that part. So you don't have to think about it. Back in the day when mobile was new, you had to pay someone to design something to configure the way it should and render on a mobile device. You don't have to worry about that now. The only thing that I say, please, please, please do this is as you design a page on your website, look to see how it looks on a website, or not on a website, on a mobile device. Look on a tablet, look on a mobile, yes, or mobile phone. You can do the dragging of the window that I was, you can make it skinny, you can make it big, the what I was just talking about. You can do that, and it does give you an idea, but the interacting with it on your phone, this is a great thing to do when you're at the hairdressers. Just grab up your website and look at your website. Does your logo show up? Sometimes it doesn't because the file's too big. There's all sorts of things that could be happening on the mobile version of your site that you don't really think about because it looks good on desktop. So always look. It's a great little checkup that you can do if you're getting a pedicure. Just whip out your phone, go to your website, and see how you would interact with your site. It could be that everything renders exactly the way it looks on desktop. It just, reconfigures it so it fits on the mobile device. That's fantastic. And you're like, yay, it works. But then as you start to interact with the content, you're like, oh, that isn't easy to use, or I would intuitively want to click on that picture and go to that article. And right now it doesn't. So there's little things like that that you pick up. So you don't necessarily have to worry about mobile design and the functionality of the site from a technical aspect, but think about how people use it. Okay. All right. In SEO and website optimization, that's what we're going to pop over to right before we wrap up here. We're going to use relevant keyword phrases throughout your content. It improves your search rankings. It's not only about Google searching your site now. Now it's all these AI tools like ChatGPT. So you have to create good content and lots of it because it's not just saying somebody is going to search travel agent near me or Disney travel agent. They're not just going to search that. They're going to be searching for something else in an AI tool, and it's going to show that they have an intent that they might be interested in this. That might not be what their intention was when they were searching, but it kind of is indicating that they might be interested in it. So the more content you have, the more that those tools are going to find you. And that's why you always want to create content. So, number two, optimize your website's meta descriptions and titles to attract clicks and search engine results. I'm going to show you what that is. So don't even ask me what that is. I'm going to show you what it is in just a second, okay? But my big thing about meta titles and meta descriptions is think billboard. Just that's the note. Keep it with you. And then number three, build high quality content that provides value to users and encourages engagement and sharing. We've all been on a website that has content that we love, and we want to share it. So you want to think about the content. So here's some examples. You want blog posts, share those travel tips, destination guides, any other advice to attract potential clients and establish your expertise. My biggest note here for you, and many of you have heard me say it before, is if you're waiting to tell people who call you, schedule a consultation, if you're waiting until they do that to tell everything you know about travel and what you can do and what you love to do, you are going to be waiting a long time because that content would be best served captured in a blog post, captured in a video, captured in images and galleries on your website. Capture all of that. Your website is your number one salesperson. So, and you probably are your number one salesperson. recreate you in your website and be free with those stories, okay? Because nobody's going to read all of them. Nobody's going to watch all the videos. But knowing it's there and by chance them capturing a few of those elements, that's going to make them schedule a consultation. That's going to make them pick up the phone. So stop sitting in your office waiting for someone to call and let them, and then get them to ask you the question so you can tell the story. Tell the stories. Amanda just said, and I know there's a lot of chat going on, guys. You guys are really on it today. Let's see. Amanda said, are we limited to the amount of images and videos that we can access from WorldVia to put on our website? No, no. And you can upload, if you have images of your own, which I highly recommend, put up whatever you want. Yeah, no restriction on that. Okay. All right. And then finally, you want to measure success, refining your strategy. So after you put your website out, after you are visiting when you're getting a pedicure, and you're checking out how you use it, uh, look at there's so many analytics tools. There's things that are built into platforms like sites that you can look and get quick information on how many people are visiting your website. You know how many people are becoming customers or becoming leads for you. So you can look at conversion rates. There's lots of ways that you can dive into data to make decisions. And I highly recommend you do it. This is something, travel marketing is all about systems. So you cannot, I know I'm not expecting you to do all the big quotes, all that stuff, and then also be looking at data on your website every single day. Set aside a day a month. And maybe only a couple of hours. Look at some information. I guarantee you, if you look at the information at least once a month, you will make decisions about what content you put out, about maybe pages that you want to change or layouts that you want to change. You just need to be looking at it. Otherwise, it becomes this thing that you're like, oh, I probably should look into this stuff. Just, take a moment and look. You can also go deeper in Google Analytics, lots to do. But also getting feedback from people, friends and family going to your website or clients saying, oh, I saw this, I saw that article, or that video. I watched the video that you put on your website, and that really made me want to contact you. Well, guess what? I'd be going to my website and looking to see, could I do something to make that video more visible? Or do I need to merchandise that in other places on my site? Just be open to feedback and know that the great thing about working in digital is, and online, is that you can change things whenever you want to. And that's really the power. Now, before we wrap, I want to make sure I do what I say, and I want to go over and just show you about meta. I want to show you how to work with your meta titles and meta descriptions. So I'm going to pop over into sites. I'm going to go into the back end of sites, which is you can get to it off of WorldVia Pro if you're a member of our network. If you're not a member of our network, the tools that I'm showing, there's probably something very similar. I can guarantee you there's something very similar in those tools. I'm just really proud of our tool, so I'm going to show you. So I'm going to go over to sites, right here under apps. And I do not have a site up. I just grabbed something really simple to show you. This is the backside of sites. And I'm really proud of it. So you can do a blog. I'm so excited about it. But anyway, I'm going to go over to SEO settings, and I am going to go to, sorry, SEO. There we go. And manage pages. Okay, so this is where I can get into the SEO, managing my SEO. Now, SEO is search engine optimization. It helps your site get discovered, and it's really a practice of creating content using keyword phrases that people will search. Or now it's really creating that content that has the keyword phrases, but also has content that helps those AI tools find, serve your content up or use your content to position you to people who are potentially could benefit from working with you or going to your website. So you're looking at a bigger picture here, but the keyword phrases are where I start. And I got a tip a long time ago to use, whether it's writing the content or doing what we're about to do here, think about how you would ask Alexa. And I know we all have worked with Alexa or Siri, asking questions, and sometimes when we ask a question, it doesn't give us the answer we're looking for, so we reconfigure the way we ask the question. That is really helpful when you're evaluating how to optimize your website and your content to increase its chances of being discovered through search engines. So, meta titles and meta descriptions, what are they? Well, really simply put, I'm going to say, let's see, we're searching for, I was looking for Vicky Fried. She did a presentation on Royal Caribbean, and it was all about candy. So I was looking for that. So you can see what I was searching for. Anyway, uh, so so we found it, but that's not important here. What's important is what is a title and meta description. This right here, the bold text, that's your meta title. And that is, I mean, we're all familiar with this. This is how we search for things, right? So this is a meta title, and this below is a meta description. So with many website platforms, it's automatically pulling this information based on your content. So in this particular with Travel Market Report, it's pulling what the headline of that article was, and then what it starts bringing over some of the content as the meta description. But this is a part of that blog post or that article. So you can see here on Facebook, she's Vicky Fried, and that is the meta title. And then what Facebook shows as the description is how many followers, who's she following, blah, 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 blah. Royal Caribbean. Here's an article about Vicky Fried. That's the meta title. And then underneath, this is some of the content in that article. That's the meta description. So, you know, what I was saying meta title, meta description, think billboard. This is your billboard, guys. This is your billboard. And if you have a website right now and you search for pages, you search to see how it shows up in search engines, look to see is that meta title, that valuable real estate, is it signaling what you want it to signal? Because you can control that with most platforms that you're working with. Okay. And you want to make those changes. So I'm going to show you in sites. Here I'm on the home page of my site, which is some of the most important in terms of real estate. So right now on this page that I'm working on, this is not published, Teresa, just so you know. I don't have anything here. So it would probably populate with some of the content, just like that travel market report example I was using. But here, let's see, my website is called Adventure Call is Calling. Um, let's say I'm about adventure travel. So adventure oops, it helps if you spell correctly. Adventure vacation experts. Again, this is my billboard for my agency. I'm going to put a little bar there and I'm going to call it Joshua's Travel Agency. Okay, there we go. Um, and then let's see, my description, my little bit of text, and depending on what device you're on, what browser you're on, this gets truncated and means it's shrunk or cut off. So I need to make sure that my first few words represent what I want it to represent. So wherever the meta title is, the meta description will follow. So I like to think about them calling to each other, like, hello, I'm the title. Hello, I'm the description. I'm receiving your message here, right? So if I say Adventure Vacation Experts, Joshua's Travel Agency, we specialize in custom family uh, adventure vacations. I'm really struggling to spell here, guys. Vacations. I don't love this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in love with this right now. And then I can write a little bit more. You have You have up to, you want to keep it under 160 characters, as it says right here. Because of that, the chances of it being truncated. But sometimes it can be truncated a lot more than that. So I can go up to 160 characters, and I do recommend you do that, even if it gets truncated. I still want to make sure that that first sentence is power. So here, my title is Adventure Vacation Experts. Okay, Joshua's Travel Agency. I got my name in. This is again for my homepage. And then I say we specialize in custom family adventure vacations. That kind of gives a little of the nuance there. Um, so I like that they're speaking to each other. I probably would put family adventure vacation experts if that was really my calling there. So I probably would do that. But you get the gist of what I'm doing here. Now, this website has trip inspiration, blog page, contact page, and promotions page, right? I want to customize each one of those. And I want it to relate, I want it to be specific to the page. So, uh, uh, Trip Ideas by Joshua's Travel Agency could be the meta title I use on the trip inspiration page, and then I can write a little paragraph, really focusing, making sure that that first sentence speaks to the ideas, the trip ideas that I'm going to share with you. Um, every single one of those pages, you'll want it to look good. You won't want it to just say blog. You don't want it to just say blog. You want it to say Joshua's Travel Agency blog. Something like that. You want to customize everything you can because this is your space on the web and it's very, very easy for you to customize. Now, the fun thing about this is we've got AI built in here. So here, look at this. You can put what is your business name? What does your business do? What area does your business serve? Give a little context. And then Bob's your uncle. It's going to shoot out a title for you. And you can still customize it after you do it. How do you like that? Could that not be easier? Yes, you could go to ChatGPT, but why not just do it right while you're in that section? So that is built, the AI helper is built into sites all the way. And a lot of platforms, they have it. But what I love about our platform is it was made for travel websites. So I hope that was helpful. Wow, what an hour and a half. I'm, if you guys felt like this was a lot, yeah, I do too. This was a lot. Oops, I don't need my name there. Uh, so wow. Did I deliver massive value? I need to know that I did. I'm getting a lot of TMs in the chat. Guys, you guys had so many questions. Thank you so much. I can't believe I yeah, you guys had so much that I didn't get to. Gosh, guess you need to come back next Saturday. And for those of you who are new, I'm here most Saturdays, except for when I'm traveling, and getting around the world to be with our members across the world. Wow, I feel like I talked a lot. I hope you guys liked it. It seems like you did. Um, so. What I love to ask at the very end of the session is there anything that we talked about today that you can take action on in the next week? Anything, drop that in the chat. I'm going to hit it before we wrap up. A quick reminder here, again, I am here most Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The recording available on World Via Travel Network's YouTube. Just search for the channel and please subscribe while you're there. Please like the videos. It helps us a lot. We want people to be able to enjoy this content. So please keep on engaging with the content. And I would love to see you in our Travel Marketeer Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. To join, you just need to go to Facebook and search Travel Marketeer, not Travel Marketeering, Travel Marketeer, and you can find it. You can find it, join it. Love to see you there. Ask questions while you're there. I love having you guys here. And if there's any content that you want me to cover, put it in, ask us in the Facebook group because between me and Drea and the rest of our team, we'll find it, we'll make it happen. We just want to make sure that we help you, our fellow travel marketeers. I want to see here, let's see. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow, there's just so much here. Thank you guys for the comments. Let's see. Anne said, the dreaded pop-up for my website. I love it, Anne. Catherine, you guys are all about the pop-ups right now. Adding pop-ups this week. I love it. Kristen said, I need to update some verbiage on my website. Guess what, Kristen? You can be an official travel marketeer if you call it copy. That's the fancy term for words that sell in marketing. So add some copy to your website or update some copy on your website. Rebecca gave us a thank you, TM. Amanda, learn a lot. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate your questions. Matthew said, I'm going to work with sites to see if I can improve my content. I love it, Matthew. So glad. Jeff said, tighten up our SEO. I know you and Allison will be working on that. Laura said, I'm going to spend some time making sure everything looks great on mobile. Yes. And it's something I have to do it all the time. And even on worldviatravelnetwork.com, I will go while I'm getting a pedicure and I'll pop over and I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's a pop-up getting in the way. I need it to not do that. Let's see. Deborah said, yes, I'll be rewatching this and checking on the sites suggested. I love it. Robin, totally using sites to get my website up. At least a pretty scuba pic with my contact info. I love it, Robin. Ellen said, thanks, Joshua. Sorry I missed the first hour. Gotta reset that alarm. Ellen, you can go back and watch it. I love it. And Ellen, the recording will be up a little bit later today. I've got to run out and do some things, do some lifestyle maintenance. So I'll get that up there and make sure that you can get to it. Amber said, I will be planning out my website and what I want it to look like as soon as my background check is done. I will go live. Amber's talking about joining us because she just joined us. I believe you said yesterday. So glad you joined. Robin said, this is exactly what I needed today. Oh my gosh, I love it. Kristen's going to updating copy. I love it. Christy said, thank you so much for explaining this to newbies. Teresa said, I'm going to finish onboarding and step looking at designing my website. Teresa, just so you know, if since you're a new member of our network, the launch checklist, which is available in that little, if you click on the avatar in WorldVia Pro, you can add the launch checklist, and that goes through your online presence. It goes through learning about how to start up your agency and working with our network. There's a lot of great, helpful information. Oh, and Teresa said start, not step. And Cecilia said, just got my domain. Guys, whew, that was a lot. I'm so glad you joined. See you next time, and please find me on social. I love being on Instagram. I'm everywhere, but I like to be on Instagram. At Joshua Harrell. I'm Joshua Harrell. So glad to be here with you. I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.